Hi everyone! For this week's Aluminum Narwhal's virtual outreach, we're going to be learning about CAD, which is a super helpful tool for engineers all around the world. Let's start with what CAD actually means. It's an acronym that stands for Computer Aided Design, and it pretty much does exactly that. It's a tool that allows engineers to use their computers to design parts that can later get manufactured in real life. CAD is helpful for prototyping, final product design, and simulation. Some CAD softwares will allow you to simulate what would happen if your part existed in real life by applying physics theory. As you can see here, we have on the left-hand side of the screen a gear that's been modeled in CAD, and on the right-hand side, a picture of a gear in real life. CAD is a super helpful tool with how it relates to manufacturing. A part that gets designed in the computer is great, but what's really helpful is that we can take that part and use it as a model to make something in real life. There's a couple different ways that engineers go about doing this. The first is by taking the CAD files that they create and using something called CAM, or Computer Aided Manufacturing. This allows you to make toolpaths and show how an automated machine would move through a piece of metal or stock to cut out the part that you're looking for. The next is slicing for 3D printing. What this does is it takes the CAD file you've created and cuts it into lots of different levels so that a 3D printer can understand how to make the part. Those different levels will get printed one at a time by the 3D printer. Another way that CAD is helpful for manufacturing is by creating blueprints or drawings. A lot of CAD software will have a feature specifically for creating these drawings that someone who's manually machining a part could follow to know how big to make the holes or what size to cut things out. As a high school robotics team, the Aluminum Narwhals use CAD all the time to design our robots. Let's take a look at what these robots look like in a software that we use called SolidWorks. We can create sketches and apply features to those sketches to make 3D parts. You can build up lots of parts into what's called an assembly, and eventually these assemblies can become something like a whole robot. That part that you just saw is right here on this much larger assembly. This assembly is our robot from last year called Grommet. As you can see, CAD was super helpful to us since we were able to model out every part and make sure that nothing was in the way, and we could even see how CAD was super helpful for us because we could model how each part was going to fit into the real-life assembly of our robot and make sure that nothing intersected or got in the way. Using parts like this ball that you see on screen, we could even get a sense of how this robot was going to interact with the field elements that it had to face in real life. Another super helpful aspect of CAD is that it provides insight as to what your model will actually be like in real life. For example, we were able to use SolidWorks to estimate the weight of our robot and make sure that it would be legal for competition before we ever built it in real life. Next, let's take a look at a CAD program called Tinkercad, where we're going to be teaching you how to design your very own parts.
Hi, I'm Shreya, and now I'll be teaching you how to make your own CAD models using a program called Tinkercad. This will be a tutorial, so feel free to follow along with this video and pause whenever you need to. First, head to tinkercad.com. That's tinkercad.com. Now that you're here, scroll down and press Start Tinkering. Once you're on the screen, if you already have an account, you can sign in, or you can create a new account. If you're creating an account, be sure to ask a parent for help. Now you'll be at your dashboard. Here, click Create New Design. Now you'll be led to an empty work plane. This is where you can drag shapes to make your model. You can move around your view of the work plane by moving this little square or this little cube in the corner. If you want to go back to the default view, press the little home button. you can zoom in and zoom out. Now let's start building. So let's start by dragging a box onto our work plane. Let's first teach you how to change the size of the box. We can use these black squares to change how long it is or how wide it is, or we can use the white squares in the corner to just drag the box to whatever size we'd like. We can use this white square in the middle to change how tall the box is. Now how do we move around the box? We simply click on the box and drag it around to move it to wherever we want. We can also make the box go higher or lower with this black arrow. If we want to rotate the box around, let me get you a better view, we can use these little curved arrows to rotate the box around. We can also change the color of the box right here, and I really like this light blue color. Cool, so now let's try adding some other shapes. Let's say I want to add, it's a cool shape. I like this star. I think I'm gonna add a star to this box. So let's say I want to add the star on top of the box. First I'm gonna make it a little shorter, and let's move it up and move it to the box. That's not high enough. Cool. So now we have a star on top of a box. We can move it around to make it in the center, or even make it a little smaller. There's so many things you can do with Tinkercad, so feel free to be creative and try what you'd like. Now that we've gotten the basics down, let's try to make a house in Tinkercad. You can head back to your dashboard by pressing the Tinkercad logo in the corner. From your dashboard, you can see the model which you just created, and now you can create a new design. Now you're back onto another empty work plane. Now we can drag a box to maybe be the body of our house. You can make the body of your house any way you'd like, but I'm going to start with a box. Let's make it nice and big, and a little tall too. Cool. Tinkercad gives you tons of shapes that you can use to get started, so I think I'm going to use a basic roof for the roof of my house. I'm going to move this up, drag it onto the box, and let's make a little big roof. A roof that's a little big. Cool, we can even make it slightly taller once again by moving the white square in the middle. Ta-da! Now we have a nice little house. Let's add some text to say that this is like my house. You can change what text it says here, and I'm going to make it say my house. You can also change the font, so I'm going to make it a little more modern font, and the color as well. Let's make it a little thin so it doesn't stick out too much. We can also hide this menu if you want to, like I want to turn this thing, so I'm going to hide this menu so I can turn around this little sign and then move it to the front of my house. Oh, that's a little big. Cool, and let's just drag that to our house. Bring it up a little. And now we have a house with the words that says my house on it. Feel free to experiment and try all sorts of things. Maybe add a chimney or add some trees outside the house. The opportunities are endless. So have fun, stay creative, and have a great day.